PlayStation is doubling down and essentially moving forward with a digital only environment. Come 2028, as you know, they're going to just completely stop the production of physical games. Now, that's just not PlayStation, that's including their third party partners, as PlayStation is the one who has to approve these discs to being pressed and then sent out to retailers and whatnot. We are gearing towards the digital future. No, a lot of folks are not looking forward to it, including myself. I've been very critical to PlayStation in regards to this. But since we are going towards an all digital, all online future, let's go ahead and just talk about a game that is mainly online, even though most of it is offline. It's one of my favorite video game series, Gran Turismo 7. This game released on March 4th, 2022. I actually purchased the 25th anniversary edition for $89.99. And so let me go ahead and show you what it's like to be digital only. So if you like these kind of videos, let me know. Leave a comment down below if you're looking forward to a digital online future, whether it's PS5 or PS6, whenever that gets announced. It's not about making it convenient for you. It's about making it profitable for them. It's also about control. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about with Gran Turismo 7. Here's my physical copy of the PS5 version of Gran Turismo 7. Of course, it's not a PS5 exclusive because they put it on the PS4 as well. And so you see it, 25th edition. Please, you got to read this notice right here. If I can get it to focus, internet required for most functionality. Remind you, it's mostly an offline game. There's a lot of online features, but a lot of it is offline as well. But you still need an internet connection. There is additional 25th anniversary content with the vouchers that are inside the box. You get the PS5 game disc, you get the steelbook case, full game download of the PS4 version. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I was just thinking about making this video and I opened up my case. I looked at the vouchers, I looked on the back of them, and it had the expiration date, which is also on the back of this box. But it's like, you have to redeem this by February 1st, 2025. So if you didn't do that, you bought this, you didn't open it up, you wanted to collect it or whatever, the digital vouchers that are inside that box had already expired. It's the 10th of August, 2026. That's me shooting this video. I panicked. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't redeem this? I did. Must have did it immediately once I received the game, so we're good there. So you get 1 million credits. You can spend 1 million credits in like 10 seconds is gone in this game. You get a Toyota GR Yaris, you get 30 partner PSN avatars, and you get the official digital soundtrack. The soundtrack's decent. I like jazz mainly, and it's pretty fun for me. So like I don't mind their soundtrack. It's actually pretty nice. But to read more to you, unlock your driving passion as you collect, tune, and race over 400 cars and 90 track layouts. Before I continue to read this, let's go ahead and just put the disc inside the PS5. So here you go. Here's the disc. Let me continue to read this. So dynamic weather effects and realistic variable daylight timings, expand competitive play with seasonal events and up to 20 players online, feel your throttle, braking response, and motion steering with the DualSense wireless controller on your PS5 console. And of course, it gives you a lot of these. The one mention is that you need to have an account for your PlayStation Network. Needs to have an internet connection to redeem the PS4 to PS5 upgrade. Not available with this voucher. The code expires on the 1st of February of 2025. I also want to show you that I do have an internet connection. I also want to show you that with the recent events of PlayStation, that I don't actually have this thing updated. We are on firmware 13.40. Of course, there is an update available, but as you can see, I am connected. The only thing I'm not connected to or signed into is the PlayStation Network because we're not updated to the latest firmware for the PlayStation 5. Let's go ahead and get into Gran Turismo 7. Another thing that happens when you don't have your PlayStation updated to the latest firmware, when you're playing with a game that demands online connectivity, you're going to get hit with a bunch of notifications to update the system, as you see right here. Update the system to use network features. No thank you, PlayStation. That's the first one. Let's see how many times it bugs you to update the system. Does it again. This is in real time. No edits. No jump cuts. This is all in real time. It just hit me up twice in the span of 10 seconds. If that. Do you want to update? No, thank you. Also notice how it's defaulted on the continue. So if you accidentally press X, it's updating, or it's going to at least download and then update. So because you said no, you cannot use network functions unless you sign into the PlayStation Network. Okay, I understand all that. So you get into the game. You're going to have its intro move. Like, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and, pass that. I'm going to skip the intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gran Turismo 7 offline mode. So you can do music rally, or you just do. I actually should take a look at that, but take a look at the world map. In real time, no jump cuts. We are offline, as you see on top. It says reconnect. You can't do so until you update the system, even though the game itself is updated, mind you. The game itself is updated. Let me see if I can show you that real quick. I'm actually doing this off screen, and it still bugs me to update system software. Let me see if I can go home and press start. Check for update. The game or app you have installed is the latest version. Keep that in mind. The game itself is updated. That doesn't matter. If you don't have a PlayStation connection from your console to the PlayStation Network because they restrict your console when it's not updated to the latest firmware, you can't do anything in this game with the exception of a few things. But take a look. It doesn't even bother to tell you what these are because you don't have an internet connection to the PlayStation Network. It bugs you yet again to update to the latest version of the game. No, thank you. Excuse me. It's asking you again to update the firmware of the console. No, thank you. It has all these different modes. This one right here, I know you go to get your licenses. Can't do that without a connection to the PlayStation Network. You want to buy cars? Tough. You can't do that unless you have an internet connection. All these things, there's a showcase, there's all these stuff. The story mode, your garage, the cars that you did purchase, you don't have access to. You have to update your system first, even though the game is updated. Even though you have no plans on playing online because I don't have a PlayStation Plus network account. That stuff expired a few months ago and I refuse to renew it with everything that they're doing. So yeah, you can't do anything. You can't go to maintenance to fix your cars. You can't do anything other than the world circuits. So since you are currently offline, this is the only pavilion that can be selected in this game. Out of all those other things you saw on this map, you can only access one thing. What can you access, might you ask? I'm here to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, you can either do a single race, a time trial, or a drift trial. One of 3 modes that you can access. Let's see how many cars you can select. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have access to 13 cars offline. That's not great, especially considering we played the story mode. We've earned the credits to buy a crap ton of cars. I have a ton of cars in my garage, but I can't access the cars that I used the game's credits for because I refuse to update the system software. Ain't that something? That is crazy. Now, the good news is that you have access to 41 courses. I will give them that much credit that they give you access to at least 41 tracks. But everything else, you are limited to, what did I say, 13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have access to 3 modes, 13 cars on 41 tracks. That's it. I can't even begin to tell you how messed up that is. You spend a lot of money on these games. And granted, let me be fair by saying that it does alert you that you need online to access the majority of functions of the game. I have fulfilled that requirement. I am connected to the internet. You saw, I am connected to the internet. But because I'm not connected to PlayStation services, because I refuse to update the firmware to my system, I no longer have access to all the stuff I've done to the game. There was like one last race I needed to do to complete the game itself. But now because of all of this, and because I refuse to update my system, I no longer have access to the game. There are a couple other games that I purchased through the PlayStation Network, such as Returnal as well as Spider-Man 2, which I actually just went and bought a physical copy of that for like $30. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do all this extra stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that. And then the last thing I think I need to pick up is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Those were the only games I purchased digitally on the PS5 because I did appreciate the convenience, but I don't appreciate the lack of control that I have and the lack of access that I have to them because I refuse to update to your stuff. So that's just absolutely ridiculous. Do you like the fact that the game is limited to you? Let me tell you something else. So this game released on March 4th, 2022. Then it has its maintenance. I don't know how often it does it now, but back then they were maintaining this game once a week at a certain time. There was 1 week where they messed up the update. So it wasn't because of some DDoS attack or something went wrong with the servers or a license agreement issue went wrong like with Microsoft. They just messed up an update, and the update was so bad that the game was essentially shut down for a week. You were subject to this offline mode because they messed up an update for a week. It's not okay. I don't think that's okay. There has to be some kind of update where they can give you all the offline stuff. And I think a lot of the reason was because they were just trying to control how many credits you got. Like, it got so bad, folks. Like, they were nerfing the crap out of the credits you earned through the offline races you were doing. And like, people were getting upset. It's like they are raising the prices for a lot of these cars. Stuff that was like a couple million credits turned out to be like tens of millions of credits. Then they started nerfing how many credits you were getting for certain races. It was getting so bad, people started creating scripts. So if you were able to remote into your PlayStation 5 through your PC, you could then add a script, and then the script would just do the work for you. Like, it would go through the races, it would select the car for you, it would do the circle thing. There was one of the ring tracks, and they'll essentially just do that for like as long as you wanted it, and they'll just do it until you got done, you got back, you're away from keyboard essentially, and letting the game, essentially you're farming credit. But they're like, oh my god, you can't do that. And so they're doing all kinds of stuff to prevent you from doing those things. It's like, buddy, I spent $70. I spent $90, and now I can't even access it because of the things that you're deciding to do that's making me refuse to update. The reason why I'm not updating my console is because I'm waiting to jailbreak it. And the older the firmware, the easier it is to jailbreak consoles. We're in the middle of jailbreaking PS4s right now. One of them was successful. Another one I'm working on with the PS4 Slim was somewhat successful. I was able to jailbreak it one time, and then because it shut down, the jailbreak goes away. You have to push it every time you turn on your PlayStation. You essentially have to push it on and force that jailbreak again. But this method, it just doesn't work very well for the PS4 Slim, so I have to do like the other method that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's your offline experience. I don't know about you, but that's not an experience that I appreciate. I do not appreciate spending $90 on a game that I can no longer access the full contents of. Yes, I do not expect to access the multiplayer online functions of the game because I don't have a PlayStation Plus subscription. I don't feel like paying for the right to play online. I can do that for free on my PC. Cloud storage, you want cloud storage, you got to pay for that. Why? It's free on PC. So if that means I lose access to Gran Turismo 7, so be it. Let me show you something else. This right here, Gran Turismo, the original Gran Turismo. The disc said it was, 1998 when this got printed. I found this at Goodwill for $5 and some change. $5.29. For some reason, they had two discs in here. So like, you have this disc, but it also had this one. So I'm like, okay, I get 2 copies of the disc. It's all good. But let's take a look. What is this? Is that in a booklet with instructions on like how to play the game? Wow, that's crazy. On the back, you see how many cars you have access to? 140. 13 when you're offline on Gran Turismo 7. 140 cars you have access to on a game that came out 28 years ago. Now, granted, yes, there's 11 tracks on here, and that's not that many. And essentially what they do, they take those tracks and they reverse it or whatever, so you can get the feeling that's different, but it's acceptable. It's their first crack at it, folks. This is their 7th additional. There's some other knockoffs or some other, like, side versions of Gran Turismo, like Gran Turismo Sport. Why do I have more cars in a 28-year-old game than I do in one that came out 4 years ago? It's all about control. That's what it's always been about. So when that digital future comes, don't be surprised. Long story short, I spent 90 bucks and I'm getting probably $10 value of the game I actually spent my money on. All because I refused to update my firmware on my PS5. Even though I have an internet connection, which I showed you guys. It says you need an internet connection. I gave you internet connection. But PS5 not update, that means you get 5% of the game. Is that a future you want? 2028, that's what we're gonna get. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for, listening to me and seeing me ramble and all this stuff. You want to see more content? Consider subscribing, leave a comment down below. Rate the video how you want to rate it. We got some work to do. YouTube wants to make it even harder for a brother like me to get partnered on the platform. So in order for that to happen, I just need y'all to watch the videos. I also realize I got to put the work in. In fact, more importantly so, I got to put the work in. If I don't put the work in, no one else's fault but mine. That's on me, and it's all about ownership. Ownership. That's crazy. Isn't that something? Anyways, thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.